feel like it's kind of like in life, like the Lord gives us a free invitation to be like, hey, you can have a relationship with me, you can head towards me, but it's up to you if you want to get on the bus, you want to join the ride or not. So that's like a little bit of symbolism for the video. And I think that's what I really want people to take away from that as well. Is like, you know, the Lord's extending an invitation to you. And honestly, at the end of the day, like, all that really matters is, you know, giving glory to God. And also, I think one thing I wanted to take away is that, you know, if you look at the video, there's a lot of diversity. So you have people just coming as they are in their regular clothes. We also chose a MARTA bus because a MARTA bus, that's regular transportation, you know, everyday people. And so we really want to communicate as well that, like, God is for everybody. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a car. Like, you don't have to be like the most, you know, flyest just person, but you can come as you are, be yourself. You can be young, you can be youthful, and the Lord is still there with you, and he can he can just take you as you are, and you can also come to Yahweh. And so some fun things about the video actually is that, like, one, we had a lot of choreography up in there. So if you've like been tapped in with like what I do and like the music and stuff like that, then you know that like I do choreography a lot. So shout out to Deja. She's actually one of my choreographers. She actually hosted some auditions recently, so stay tuned for even more. But yeah, we were able to do a lot of fun choreo, bring in some new fresh dancers. So you might actually see some new faces, because if you've been tapped into my music videos, you might be like, oh, I recognize that person, I recognize that person. But now we're switching it up because we're growing a little bit, so we're able to have auditions and get some fresh faces in the building. And it was a lot of fun, and it was cool because Porsha actually did some choreo as well. So, you know, you might see her busting a move, doing some dancing. So that was really fun seeing her like just embrace that new side of her in the visual as well. And I'm trying to think about also what else was like really cool about the video. It was a lot. Like, honestly, I feel like this video, we had a full team. So having a full team was really dope for the situation, because we had stylists, we had directors, we had choreographers, everything. It was like a full loaded set. So I think that was really dope because I was able to build relationships even with my stylist. She came to my album release party. The girl who did my hair, she came to my album release party, and like her daughter was like my bestie at the party. So it was really cool. I think getting able to, you know, just unite with different people and like have a full community of different people out here. Try to see. Yeah. So we can do a little lyrical miracle breakdown. All right, bet. So here's some lyrics from Yahweh that I really liked, and just a little bit of the meaning behind it. So I have a lyric where I say, look, using saints for your gain ain't witty. God's plan, Gucci, tailor made, custom fitted, yeah. And so the meaning behind this is like, one thing I noticed when you work in Christian music, you know, or in ministry in general, it's really dope to be talented, but then things can get weird because sometimes people be like, oh, you're really talented, how can I profit off of this? And so I think there's a temptation to then like kind of almost pimp out your gift or pimp out what you're doing, and then it no longer becomes pure, but it just becomes like, oh, if I just say this, then I know a whole bunch of people will be like, yeah, Jesus, yeah. And versus like, did God actually tell you to say that, you know? And so when I said using saints for your gain ain't with it, I basically was speaking to like people who try to manipulate Christian artists or try to manipulate, you know, just pure-hearted people, just to profit off of them and profit off of their gifts. And also just letting you know that like at the end of the day, God's plan is okay with me. It's Gucci. It's custom fitted exactly for you. Everybody has their own unique, individual, you know, customized plan that God has for them. All right, so I have some more lyrics as well. So in the song, I say, we fly, might fall, but we get up. Don't play with the fruit, that's a setup. Yeah. So the first part is really just like real simple. Like, you know, we fly, we pretty cool or whatever. And, you know, sometimes we fall down, but we get up. You know, we ain't gonna stay down. And so, yeah, I think it's really important to make sure that you get back up. And the second half is actually talking about Eve. So when I say don't play with the fruit as a setup, it's like reminding you, hey, Eve already been through this. And, you know, the snake was tempting her and saying like, oh yeah, just do this. And, you know, you can have anything you want. Like, you can be like God. And it's like, no, that's a setup. Don't even try it. Just walk away. Live your best life in another direction. So that's what that line was about. All right, some more bars. I said, I'ma say it again. Can't have a chip on my shoulder. I'ma lay it again. We the body, mind, anatomy gon' grade again. Got the VIC. No, we taking the win. So, with this bar, basically, I was saying like, you know what? I really team unity. So often, you know, whenever you're a human, it's like really hard to not have conflict. That's just natural of something that's gonna happen. But don't let that harden your heart. Don't let that build in resentment. Like, you can't have a chip on your shoulder. Like, even rappers, a lot of times they feel like, oh, I have to prove something to everybody, so nobody is ever gonna disrespect me ever again. And then it turns into like, you're not doing this because God told you to. You're doing it just because you have to prove something to somebody. And so I'm saying I can't have a chip on my shoulder. Like, whenever I come out here, I have to be with love. I have to forgive. And when I say I'm gonna lay it again, so there's multiple ways that applies to my situation. So one, that's a bar because chips and lays, you know. But then two, lay it again. So like, whenever you're rapping, like if you have to do the take again, they say, hey, lay it again. So like, it's like, hey, even me, I can't be prideful while I'm making these songs and be like, no, I know it's best, so it is what it is. I'm gonna lay it again. If I have to say the bar again, I'm gonna say it again. If I have to go back and rewrite my verse, I'm gonna do it again. You know, if God is telling me to keep trying again because maybe I failed the first time, I'm not gonna be prideful. I'm gonna lay it again. I'm gonna keep going. So even, you know, lay your flesh to rest again, you know. Yeah. And then so I have some more bars as well where I say, give him praise though, from your hands to your ankles. Shake your body for the Lord. Keep it tasteful. So this is a little fun bar one time. So it's really just, you know, reminding you, hey, give praise to God, you know, give him glory, but keep it tasteful. And I actually have funny stories from that because, you know, I'll be having shows and I'll be at churches, and sometimes, you know, you never know what you're going to get. So I'll be inviting people on stage because I really think it's really dope for people to express themselves and be who God called them to be. But, you know, now I realize I have to put this disclaimer, keep it tasteful, because I've seen some kids drop it low and I'm like, hey, we're not doing that. Like, I have to go into like auntie mode. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. No, keep it tasteful, you know, turn it for Jesus, but keep it tasteful. And so I'm like, yeah, no. And so, yeah, so it's kind of fun because it actually applies to my real life because we have really funny memories of like one time we had some kids jump over a barricade on stage. That was actually really crazy. Security came and got them. But I think it was to Yahweh too. That's the crazy part. Like, they just got so hyped. Like, they were just so excited. But it was like, all right, excited, but keep it tasteful. You know, you got to keep it contained. But it's all good. It got handled. I still love it. I love the kids, though. I love the kids. I love joy. Just keep it tasteful. Yeah. All right. So those are some of my favorite lyrics from Yahweh. Yeah, it was definitely just like a fun song to do, honestly. Like, I just enjoy it a lot. And so actually, I want to get into some of my other tracks on the album real quick. I'm gonna drink a little sip. So we're gonna do a little bit of a preview of some other tracks before we have our special guest. Woo. All right, so one thing that's really dope is so one of the songs I have on the album is a song called With You. And I really love that song because I got to incorporate my parents. And so I think it's special in multiple ways. So as you get older, you might start experiencing certain things like people passing away and stuff like that. And so my parents, their parents have passed away. And so one thing that they taught me and they let me know is like, oh, the only thing I regret is like I don't have my parents' voice anywhere. Like, I don't have a record of it. I don't have, you know, extra videos, or I don't have voicemails. So like, I know my mom, all she had was like one voicemail, so she really treasured that and she saved it, emailed it. I had her email it to her so that way she can keep the file. But yeah, a lot of people, you know, because you're so in the moment, you realize like, oh, I don't have any memories of that. So I think it was really beautiful, one, just to have a song where I have my parents' voice on record. And then two, my father actually let me know that he used to want to be an artist. I found out that's how my parents even met. Like, there's a whole like history that I didn't even know, like, because my grandfather passed away before I was born. So I found out my grandfather, he's like my step grandfather, but he was a record producer, had a whole whole mansion, like dropping songs in Nigeria. And his house is so big that he had a bakery in his house, and my dad used to work in that bakery. It's kind of crazy because like my life is kind of low-key like a part two of his life, because I was an intern outreach, you know, just working there. Like, maybe, you know, somebody will discover me one day, maybe I could be a rapper. So he's working at the bakery, he's friends with some of the artists on the label, like, oh, okay, you know, maybe one day I'll get put on type stuff. So it's actually kind of beautiful seeing like how I was even able to be the next generation and kind of like make the music thing happen in real life. But yeah, so my father even working at that bakery, that's how he met my mother, who lived in the home. And so, fun facts, you know, you just never know little things about your parents, like their dreams, their aspirations. And so I definitely appreciate them because they immigrated to the United States and they gave up a lot of their dreams and sacrifice just so I could have a better life. And so it's really beautiful for me just to put them on a record, and I thought it would be dope to include them and include their names. You know, let them be an artist one time, have their name on the track, and you know, on future albums I hope to like include them more, even musically and stuff like that. Another song that's really dope on the project is a song I have called Gravity. And so I really love Gravity because honestly, like, it just discusses like different things, like just insecurities that people might go through in life. Like, sometimes you're not picked, sometimes you're not chose, sometimes you're like, dang God, like I'm just trying to live my life, but nothing's happening. Sometimes your parents might ask you like, oh, when are you gonna get a boyfriend, when are you gonna get a girlfriend? It's like, I'm trying but I don't know, you know. And so it's just got kind of discussing like the realities of that, of like where you're genuinely like a good person, but society standards of where you should be in life may not be happening right now. And even then, whenever things start happening, how you can still have a pure heart, and then life still tries to take you out. And so Gravity is just letting you know that like in life, different things can happen, but at the end of the day, God will hold you down. And similar to gravity, you can't see gravity, but it's holding things down, you know? But you can't see God, you know? You can't see him physically, but he's always holding you down. He's always all around you. He's surrounding you with his love. And so I think that's really dope. All right. And so now I'm going to talk a little bit about just like the album, just everything. So I low-key kind of got to A&R this album, which is really dope. So I think one thing that's really dope about this album is like, I was like, I'm just gonna be my full self and I'm gonna make music that I want to hear. I think artists would get trapped in a phase where we're like, oh, like what is gonna sell well, what is historically done well in Christian music, and so you try to mold yourself to be that, and it's like, do I even listen to this type of music, like, you know? And so for me, I really tried to not be an appeaser, like not being like, oh, I'm gonna do this because this is what this type of people like to hear, this is what they have always played, but it's just more of, Holy Spirit, what do you want me to make? What type of sounds do we actually like? Now let's make that. And I feel like it was really beautiful when it came together. It was cool. I even got to pull together like the right homies, the dream team, you know, to work everything together. So it was cool. It was like a small knit group. So I had Clark, he's my producer. Jube, he's also one of my producers. I had Alex, he's one of the A&Rs. Dre, he's an A&R, and Ace as well. And so yeah, we just locked in, had a little miniature camp with just us. And we were able to make basically 99% of the songs in 2 days. And then after those 2 days, basically it was just like refining them. So we made all the choruses basically in 2 days and all the beats. And then after that, for like four months basically, I just tapped in and, you know, was like, okay, God, like what do you want me to say on each of these songs? And just wrote my verses, refined my verses. What else did I do over that time? Yeah, got features, because also, you know, other people's lives have different timelines. So I was able to send some features out, and they were able to get those back. We were able to mix and master some songs, put some songs out. I had to live life in the meantime of that as well, though. So it's like I'm still working on the studio, but then I have to go do my shows, and then I have to come back. And it's like, oh, I might be gone for a week doing shows and stuff, but then I have to come back to the studio. So I was able to live life, but at the same time, like tap in and really go hard on the production and everything. And yeah, honestly, it was just really dope. I know one of the fun features I enjoyed was like, for instance, working with Tyrion. So we've been able to do like a little swap. So I worked on her song, she worked on my song, and so I got to work on her song Matthew 5, and then she was able to work on a song that I have called New Day. And yeah, I love Tyrion. Tyrion's a ridiculously talented individual, a beautiful soul, a beautiful face, like all of that. And so it was really cool having her on the record. She did a beautiful job, and I feel like y'all are definitely going to enjoy that one. And just so many collabs, like Sajay as well. Sajay was on a record called Desires, and I really love what she did on there. She has a really soulful voice, and so even Desires, that's a record talking about like, what do you desire? Like, is it something that's going to bring you to, you know, higher things that the Lord wants you to think of, or is it going to bring you to more of your sinful desires? And so it's like a song basically about like renewing your mind. So really love that record. But y'all, I have a special surprise for y'all. Enough about the album. Y'all can go listen to that in your free time. We have a special guest. Woo!
Hello, where's the girl?
OMG, we have Miss Porsha Love. It's all good.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm a little clumsy.
We have Miss Love.
Hello. Hi,
Love.
sister.
Hey.
How are you?
So,
I didn't want to put my back to the camera.
No, it's all good. Everybody make some noise for Porsha. Hey.
Woo! Yeah, we here.
Yeah.
Period.
Who was in lots of the darkest juice? Yeah. So we have Miss Porsha Love in the building. So, of course, if you heard the song, you saw the music video, you already know she did what needed to be done.
I mean,
she killed it.
It was easy. The song was so fire.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? It's like
it's a gift. It's a gift. You know, the Holy Spirit just said download.
Thank you, Lord.
So, here we're gonna ask Miss Porsha Love some questions, and she can share a little bit about her experience. So we'll start with just the music. Like, so how was it like, creating your verse, and then even just seeing it after like everything was mixed and mastered?
Yeah. So. Of course, anytime my sister hit me up, like, girl, let's do a track. I'm like, yes, okay, let's do it. So initially, I was extremely excited about doing the track. Once I heard it, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. I love the choir. I love just the fact that it's centered around Christ.
Yeah.
So, I feel like it's a wave of like bringing people back to God. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a long time, we were afraid to be like, oh, Christian rapper, or like, I don't want to sound too churchy. I don't want to. Now it's like we super unashamed. Like, no, we need the Lord. Okay, everything that's going on today. So when I heard the track, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so soulful. It's like, this is gonna be great. But I was in the process of transitioning from from being single to being married, and from being in LA to going back to Atlanta. So it was a lot that was going on during that time that I was just really busy with. So I'm like, man, I really got to get this verse in. So I hit Anike up. I'm like, girl, just give me like 2 more weeks. Like, no, I think it was 2 more days. I was like, just give me like 2 more days. She's like, okay, yeah, it's fine, we're still working on the other stuff. So I drive an hour to record my verse at Patrina. Shout out to Patrina de Lacy. I drive an hour to Long Beach to record my verse at Patrina's house.
It sounds so bougie. How to go to Long Beach?
I mean, the Cali life, So I go to the studio and Patrina's like, yeah, do whatever you want, have a good time. So I'm in there and I'm stuck because of the season I'm in. It's just a lot of, I don't know, I just wasn't in a very creative mode because it was so much transition. My brain really wasn't able to focus right away. So I'm like, man, I really got to get this verse in. But I was about to give it up. I'm like, dang, I'm going to have to hit my girl up and tell her I can't do it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend a night. I'm going to sleep in the studio and I'm going to just be dedicated, because if I go home, if I drive back the hour, I'm not going to come back the next day to record it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just spend a night and I'm going to figure it out. So I spent tonight. I wrote the verse at first and then I recorded it, but I knew I could do better. So I'm like, this is hitting, but it ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this being our next song, like the second song with just me and you coming back out. So I'm like, no, it has to be the one. So I spent the night, and then the next morning, Patrina recorded me, and it was fire. So shout out to God for pressing, being able to press through that and get over that hump. I prayed. I said, Lord, I know this is what you wanted me to do. Anike said that, God told her to put me on the song. So I'm like, Lord, I'm going to need the verse to come through, okay? And the Lord did what he needed to do.
Yeah, I would say some of my favorite parts of the verse, I feel like, because like I give it a 10 out of 10. So some of the reasons I give it a 10 out of 10 are like, 1, personality, 2, the bars, but then 3, you get to learn more about her personal life, like in the bars as well. Like you learn about her mother. I feel like that's like really dope, like sharing about how like, life isn't perfect. Like sometimes things happen, and just even sharing like, the Lord kept her mind through that process. I really feel like that was beautiful. I loved how you start off centered around Yahweh, centered around Jesus. Like, look, this is what we're talking about. Oh, the little shot at the devil one time, also saying like, he ain't a prophet.
Right, okay.
Messiah, he's more than a prophet.
Let it be known. Because people be, I'm real. I love justice. I love the Lord. I love things that are right. So I can't stand when people don't put respect on Jesus' name. It's like, no, he is God. He is the Son of God. Like he's not just a prophet. No, he is the Messiah. Period. And
it's crazy too, because like I was reading the Bible more, and so like as you go back over the stories, you realize that was the main bullet point that caused beef. People were like, oh, you're cool. That's cool. You're doing miracles. But once he said, I'm the Son of God,
they was like, nah.
They're like,
me and the Father are one.
They said that was what getting people in jail. That's what was doing all that stuff. So like, it's really
because they'll admit it.
Yeah.
Like other religions will admit, like it's even scientific evidence that Jesus existed.
Yeah.
But is he God? Is he the Son of God? And that is where the exactly. Yeah. So it's like, oh, Jesus is Lord, okay? And can't nothing reveal that, but the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
So definitely wanted to put that in there. And even with my personal life, like you said, a lot of people don't know that I lost my mother. So it's like, I wanted it to be kind of personal, but also fun at the same time, to where they get to know me a little bit more outside of the bops. Because, we can make a bop, and that's what I love about this album, okay? Because it's very personal. I am also a Anike fan, y'all, okay? But from Exit to Anike, it's like you can feel the growth and you can feel like your vulnerability, and being like, okay, I'm gonna let these people into my world, because you're not very vulnerable in general. Okay, like Anike, she gonna have a good time, but as far as like getting to you, it's gonna be like, we gonna wait, So it felt good to be like, wow, like she's even her parents. Like I know Darius was talking to my husband about your parents on the track. It's like, wow, this is personal, So that's what the people need.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
So, Miss Love. All right, so we're gonna get into some more questions. So, how was the music video experience for you? I know there was part 1 with the styling.
Oh my goodness.
Part 2 with this to actually being there.
Yes.
There's a lot to have. Oh, and then choreography. So,
yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I used to dance in high school,
Yeah.
and I danced in college. I danced all throughout my life, like hip hop. I did ballet. I did a lot of I stepped. I was on like the step team. Yeah, I was on the step team. I did a lot of like I was a cheerleader. I was a pep squad. I was a professional cheerleader. I used to be a back spot.
The music videos.
Yeah, listen, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I really want to get back into dancing. I can vibe a little bit, but I haven't really hit an 8 count in a long time. So when Anike hit me up and was like, Deja wanna do she got to dance for you, I'm like, okay, bet. And shout out to Deja, because what I love about dancing with her is like she doesn't force you to do something that you're not comfortable with. So I'm like, girl, I ain't, because she be getting it. And I'm like, girl, I want to do something a little cute. Like I just want to be cute, and then y'all do all the extra stuff. Yeah. So she's like, okay, well, whatever you feel comfortable with. So that was fun, like being able to get back out, and especially with I was planning my wedding at that time, so just being able to break away from like the wedding stuff and like get back into music, because this is my first song really getting back into music. So which is fun because it's with you. Yeah, so it's like
it's begin supporting
literally.
Yeah,
so I was like, okay, this is gonna be great. It's gonna take me out of my wedding process mode. So this has been really fun. But doing the dance moves was like super fun, easy to learn. Yeah. And then once we did the music video, having like, I'm talking about, y'all, Anike is the one, not the two, okay? I get on set, I'm talking about, we got hairstylists, we got makeup artists. Usually I'm used to doing everything myself, you know what I'm saying? But we got everything laid out. We got tents with wardrobe. Everybody got wardrobe, y'all. This is not just like, people just came up here with their own clothes. No, the dancers had wardrobes, the extras had wardrobes, we had wardrobes. Like, it was stylist after stylist, and this after, it was fun.
It was dope.
I was like, oh.
I was like, ooh.
Yes, I was like, okay, it's giving luxury. Right, okay. The budget went up, baby. But it was great. It was so fun being around just people. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and everybody had good energy. Everybody was in high spirits. Everybody was happy. It was burning. Oh, let's talk about that heat.
Yeah. Ooh, we had portable fans on deck.
It was so hot. Like, I have not experienced a cool season yet, especially from moving from like Atlanta. First living in Atlanta, then going to California, and then coming back to Atlanta. I'm hot, y'all. Okay, so I ain't really had no cool weather, especially I'm from Detroit. I'm used to the snow. So it's been burning up nonstop, and that shoot was so hot on the bus.
Oh Lord.
Y'all,
the bus ain't have air conditioning.
The bus didn't have air conditioning, okay? Like, y'all saw the real raw and everything. We was like really professional, okay? You couldn't tell because we had to do what we had to do once the cameras came on, but it was so hot. And shout out to all the people that came, because they was like good sports, but it had to be about 100 degrees on the bus, and that's not exaggerating. Like, they had smoke machines, but they kept us cool with water, but it was hot, y'all. You can't avoid the Atlanta heat. It was hot outside the bus, hot on the bus, but we did what we needed to do. But the shoot was so fun, and we were there. Everybody came out. Queen Lee was there. Dre and Lee came, but they had to leave. But everything, it went well. The dancers did what they needed to do, and even with the 8 count that I had, I think it was like a 18, 16, I don't know. But even with the dance that I had to do, like in the midst of us performing it, because we didn't know where we were going to do it at.
Yeah.
And we didn't know like the range of the size of the bus. So even when we were standing on the bus, what I love about Deja and her dancers are they're so easy to adapt and adjust. Right? Like I'm telling y'all, it was about 2 minutes before we even had to record, and she was like, okay, instead of doing this, do this. Okay, instead of going in, go out, because we don't have enough room, we got to adjust. They had one time to do it,
And they said,
and they was like, okay, do it, and then there was like, action. And they did it and killed it. So it was fun. It was exciting to kind of get out of my comfort zone, especially with my own outfits, because I always thought myself.
yeah.
So having someone else come in and be like, okay, well, this is what I see best for you, I loved it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, let me trust somebody else with like how I dress and stuff and how I express myself through fashion. So that was great. All in all, the whole experience was a 10 out of 10. And then doing the song just boosted up even more.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so I'm super excited. This is why you got to listen to the Holy Spirit, man. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, I can't even imagine like doing this song without Porsha. That's crazy.
Aww.
So, yeah, for real. Like it's a legendary experience. And then like we've been getting a lot of love across platforms as well too. So like they've been showing like a ridiculous amount of love to Yahweh. So even that is a testimony of like, dang, like it's Yahweh. It's just a song straight about God, and that's what they showing love for. So I think that's like even more dope.
Yeah. How was it doing the hook on it?
Yeah, so,
Because it's like a choir.
Yeah,
how
so it was
that?
fun. So we had to get creative, because we still working to elevate more and more budgets. But yeah, so it actually started with me just mumbling. So I was walking around, I was pacing, and then I was like, no. It's crazy because I had a video. So I realized before I was gonna say like a brighter day. Before I was gonna say like we waiting on a brighter day, like. But I ended up changing it. We know that Jesus says, and so so basically started with that. Then Alex and Drain then came back in the room. They're like, "What y'all working on?" And we're like, "Let's play it for y'all." And then they were like, "This go hard."
Yeah.
And so then we got them to basically be the choir. And so
Fire.
They went into the booth, and then I got to be a little choir director out here. We had a little screens.
You can't tell me that's not no real choir.
Yeah,
It sound good.
Yeah, so they ate, and then we had Jordan because she could sing. We had her come back do some high pitched vocals. She's like, the Yahweh.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't hit that.
Wow.
And so but they ate, and so we basically had to just have people pretend to be different voices. So like we were like, okay, you're gonna be the soprano, hit that falsetto.
Yeah.
Now the alto. Okay, now the bass. Then we had some men come in. Lord, you're worthy.
Oh, so it was a real choir.
Yeah,
I've been here doing it.
Yeah, it's like a 3 to 5 people
yeah,
type choir.
That's all you need.
Yeah, and so
good little praise team.
Yeah, I'm really glad. Yeah, praise team.
Yeah,
praise team. So I'm glad how that came out. So that was a lot of fun.
How was the Clark on the beat?
Oh yeah, Clark.
Because he was stupid.
Yeah, so he started with piano, and then we were just like, man, this is real gospel-y. And I was like, I don't have a gospel song because a lot of my songs are either trap or they're just like vibes. Yeah. So like there's no really in between. So I think it was really cool for me just to have that especially because I legitimately listen to like just worship music and gospel.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why do I not have songs?
Yeah.
If this is what I listen to. So I think for me it was really dope to be like, okay, like this is what I listen to. So I'm glad that I can finally have a song that kind of reflects like who I am as well.
Yeah.
And that type of aspect of like my love for worship. And so yeah, I mean it was dope. So he was playing the piano. Then we're like, oh, perfect. Then he was like, oh, we can put some Jersey on it. He from the north, so he know all about that life. And so, yeah, he just sauced it up. He did everything that needed to be done. And it was just
fire.
It was real natural after that. Like, it was just really easy to do what needed to do.
It's a very, like, freeing song. Like, it's the type of song you want to put on when you're getting ready. You know, when you're like, I just need a little pick-me-up.
Yeah.
It's definitely the type of song you want to put on when you're getting ready, when you cooking, when you in a car, when you with your girls, when y'all on your way to church, when you on your way to the function with your girl, with your holy girls, with your holy hot boys.
Write down these situations.
Okay, yes. It's definitely that type of vibe. That type of like, man, if I want to feel good, if I want to just feel like, just be reminded. It's very much a remindful song of like the goodness of God.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great song. I love it.
So yeah, it was definitely dope to collab. Definitely dope. And just thank you so much for everybody who's been tapping into the videos.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody who's just been streaming the songs, streaming the music. It's crazy. It's day one. It don't even feel like
no.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So, honestly, we want you to stream the YouTube video.
Yes, please do.
Share it with your friends, your family. Let them know.
Yes.
You can buy the album. It's available everywhere. We have the links in the
buy
description.
It.
Yeah. Purchase.
So
purchasing it changes the game.
Yes.
It's so important because streaming, the way it works, like it's beautiful because it's accessible. The con of it is that we get paid like less than 1 penny per stream.
Yeah.
So whenever you purchase an album, it really changes the game like tremendously because that one purchase is equal to thousands of streams. And
Yeah.
so like you might think I'm just one person. No, you as a one person,
We need you.
you change the game.
Yeah.
You can make a thing jump from number 5 to number 4 to number, so yeah, you definitely changed the game tremendously. Also, cool fun news, I'll be having a live show which will have Miss Porsha Love at that'll be October 13th.
Yes.
October 13th in ATL.
Pull up on us.
Yes, the official Anike show. So you definitely want to pull up because it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have some choreo. We're gonna have have a little drummer up in there.
Yes.
It's gonna be lit, and so it's definitely gonna be a fun time, a fun environment where you can bring like just anybody. I think anybody is welcome, honestly, all ages,
Yes.
all personality types. It's gonna be a fun time, and you definitely gonna want to hear the album. Definitely want to get it before it sell out.
Okay, because let me tell y'all, on a Wednesday, y'all, we had a listening party on a Wednesday, and this girl sold out on a Wednesday.
Praise the Lord.
Okay, so if you ain't got your tickets, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and do that because this is gonna be on the weekend.
Yeah.
And if you can sell out on a Wednesday, baby, ain't no telling what a Friday and Saturday and Sunday gonna do.
The Lord,
Okay,
the Lord can make it
the
happen.
Lord gonna make it happen. So I'm gonna need y'all to get y'all tickets. And the ones who do got the tickets, don't come just looking. Okay, we ready to sweat and have a good time. We gonna be jumping up and down. We gonna
Big
be
facts.
praising the Lord.
Big
Okay.
facts.
Yes.
Yes,
We have a
yes.
good time.
All right, so thank you so much. Thank you so much to YouTube for just hosting this after party. Thanks so much to all the YouTube subscribers, everybody, doing YouTube Premium. I'm a YouTube Premium member. I love it. I can listen to my songs, I can listen to videos like without, my phone screen, dying. So it's great. You can like turn off the screen, still listen to your videos. It's great. So
Luxury.
shout out to all the YouTube Premium users out here. Shout out to everybody who joined the after party. Definitely appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love from YouTube, y'all. And day ones, my career started on YouTube, y'all, when I was 15.
Yes.
Changed the lives.
And look at God.
Yeah. And
Wow.
So I definitely appreciate all of y'all. Stay blessed.
Stream the album. Buy it. Run it up.
Yeah.